Hello again. So we're going to start our Ready reading groups this week. I am scheduling the 5th grade Ready reading on Tuesday from 12 to 12:30. If you are able to make it, I hope to see you there. In your priority mailer packets, I put in pages that we've already read together, as well as some news stories. So we're going to be working through these together during our time of learning at home. The first thing I'd like to do is I thought every week we'd go over 10 of our old vocabulary words, and let's see how you do. The first word is gravity. I'll give you time to think about the meaning before I say. Gravity is the force that makes things fall downward and holds things onto the earth. That's from one of our space stories. The next vocabulary word is diagonal. Can you show me with your hand what diagonal means? That's correct. At a side angle. The next word is gazed. Inspire 3, we've been talking about the ED for past tense, so the root word would be gaze. To gaze is to stare, to look at something in a steady way. The next word is boycott. I believe this is from our Cesar Chavez story. Boycott. A deliberate choice to not buy something, to not do something in order to protest an action. The next vocab word is plural. We talked about that in Inspire 3. Plural means more than one. Could be 2, could be 20, could be 100. The next vocab word is occurred. And again, here we have a suffix ed, which means past tense. The root word is occur, and occur means to happen. When did that occur? It occurred yesterday. Our next vocab review word is task. Task is another word for a job to do. I'm sure if you have chores around the house, you could call that a task. The next word, and I believe this was also from our Cesar Chavez story, is labor. Labor is another word for work. Century. How many years in a century? 100. And our last word is migrant. Migrant. A person who moves from one place to another, especially in order to find work or to find better living conditions. That would be a migrant. So that's our review of vocabulary. What I would like you to do on a regular basis is I'd like you to go into your old stories, and I'd like you to be reading to your adult or somebody in your household. Read for fluency. We've practiced these stories, and if you remember, what does fluency mean? Fluency is such an important skill. That's right. Fluency means speed and flow. If something is way too hard for you, then you wouldn't have fluency, and that would make your ability to comprehend or understand much, much harder. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to read the story on page 42. This will be the next story that we're working on. And your objective is that you will be listening for the main idea and key details. And we will be working on this story together when we meet Tuesday from 12 to 12:30, if you are able to tune in. We will also have the objective of looking for unfamiliar vocabulary. So I'm going to read this story to you now. If you would please follow along, I'd appreciate that. The title is First in Flight, written by Edward Castillo. Paragraph 1. People have dreamed of flying since the beginning of time. An ancient Greek myth tells of a boy and his father who flew with wings made of wax and feathers. But the invention of the kite marks the true beginning of flight history. Kites were first flown in China around 400 BCE. Around that time, people began to study the science of flight. Paragraph 2. For centuries, vocab word, inventors built mechanical wings, attaching them to their arms. These efforts failed, but people still searched for ways to fly. During the 1480s, Leonardo da Vinci made more than 100 sketches of flying machines, which would later influence other inventors. Paragraph 3. In 1783, the Montgolfier brothers built the first hot air balloon. The balloon's passengers were a sheep, a rooster, and a duck. The brothers solved the problem of lift, but the balloon did not allow the riders to move forward or to steer. Paragraph 4. In the 1850s, George Cayley hoped to achieve controlled flight. His glider design shaped the work of Otto Lilienthal. In 1891, Lilienthal became the first person to launch a manned glider. He wrote a book about his experiments, which inspired two brothers from Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright. Paragraph 5. The Wright brothers tested many flight theories with balloons and kites. Their 1902 Wright glider could be controlled with a movable tail. But their greatest accomplishment was adding an engine to lift their glider into the air. Paragraph 6. On December 17, 1903, at Kill Devil Hills in North Carolina, the Wright Flyer first flew. Orville Wright was the first to successfully pilot a motorized flight. What I would like you to do to prepare for our Tuesday Ready Read meeting from 12 to 12:30 would be to go in and mark your paragraphs and lines as we always do. I have looked for some vocabulary that I think might be unfamiliar to you. If you would please mark any words that you'd like to go over on Tuesday. And then we will be doing page 43 together. So all I'm asking is that you go through for 5 minutes. Go ahead and grab a story and read for fluency to an adult or somebody in your household if you have somebody. And go ahead and look at our news story. Please number your paragraph and lines as we always do. You might want to read through it. And don't forget, 1 iReady reading lesson per day, and also 1 iReady math lesson per day. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Bye.